Hello, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We had a bit of a technical glitch over here, so I'm so sorry about the delay. Um, I'm really looking forward to sharing with you about our Croatia and Slovenia tour. It really is one that excites me. We have put in a lot of effort over the years with Croatia, and it's really a country that I love, as well as Slovenia, obviously. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you what we plan for that tour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen with you and just walk you through a quick slideshow. So for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Elizabeth. I am the second generation owner of this travel business. And yeah, I love traveling, and I love this business, so I'm excited to share what we're offering with you today. So if you give me 1 minute, I'm going to share my screen quickly. There we go. Okay. So we've called this tour the Croatia and Slovenia Explorer. So what makes it different is that this tour is part of our new product offering, which we're calling our collective journeys. So let's chat about what a collective journey is. A collective journey is a tour that offers you a little bit more free time. We've got a guide at certain destinations. So we'll have a guide in Dubrovnik to walk us through, give us an orientation, and then we'll have free time to explore on our own. And we'll have a guide, for instance, in Pula and in Rovinj, and we'll have one again in Ljubljana. But we don't have a guide with us throughout the tour. So this obviously also saves on the cost for the rest of the or for the group. So that's one of the big differences is that we don't, on a collective journey, have a tour guide throughout. So if you know Seagull's products, you'll know that we do have tour guides throughout on our boutique journey. So that's a big difference in the collective journeys. Also, our groups are slightly larger. You probably know that Seagull is known for small group tours. So on our boutique journeys, we normally just have 10 to 15 people, where on our collective journeys, we have 20 to 25 people. So still not 40 people on a bus all trying to go into the same store to buy the same or buy a cup of coffee or to have a pit stop. Still much smaller, than the 40 or 50 people, but at 25 people, it is a larger group for our collective journeys, and that's something that you should know about. And it's important to also note that it's still got Seagull signature touch. When I say that we include a meal on a Seagull tour, it's going to be a decent meal. I'm going to give you at least a 2-course meal, if not a 3-course meal. And it's it's a meal that has value. So it's not going to be a hot dog on a street corner or something like that. Or I'm not going to rush you through a cafe with a pie in hand. It's going to be a special meal that adds to the experience. So those are just some of the things that I'd like to highlight in terms of what this collective journey means. So important, you'll have more free time. The group will be slightly bigger. There will be a guide, but not throughout the tour when we include meals, and it won't be all the meals. They are still decent meals, but this also means that you have time to go and explore on your own. In the evening, you can decide to sit next to the beach, maybe with a takeaway or pack a picnic. So there'll be more time for you on your own. And our hotels are still good 4-star hotels. So, right, this is the collective journey, Croatia and Slovenia, from the 24th of August to the 5th of September. Let's run through the itinerary. Okay, so our tour departs from Joburg, and this is where you'll meet a Seagull tour leader who will travel with you. And then we fly to Dubrovnik. So Dubrovnik, of course, is famous for the old city walls. And as I said earlier, we'll have a tour leader there or a tour guide there to do an orientation tour with us and to also give us some guidelines with regards to what else we can do in Dubrovnik when we have some free time. one of the things, for instance, is to go up with a cable car to have a beautiful view over the bay. So a number of things that can be done in Dubrovnik, and we use Dubrovnik as our base. For instance, one day we're going, as you can see on day 4, we're going to the Elafiti Islands, and then we come back and we stay in Dubrovnik. So Dubrovnik is our base from where we explore for a couple of days. And then after that, we make our way to Split. Split is a fantastic town, or yeah, I call it a town. Fantastic town, and it's also from where we take our ferry over to the island of Hvar. In Split, you'll have time. If you want to go to the Diocletian Palace, you can do that on your own. Otherwise, perhaps you just want to sit next to the harbor and enjoy a drink at sunset, then that's absolutely fine as well. So you can make Split as historic or as fun or as social as you'd like to make it. Yeah, and then as I said, from Split we go over by ferry to Hvar Island, but we also go into Hvar Town, which is beautiful, and we'll have a guide who walks us through Hvar Town there. Have some free time for a meal, and then we'll head back to Split via ferry. And then one of my favorite parts of Croatia is the national park, both Krka and Plitvice. So that's what follows. We go from Split, have a coffee stop in Trogir, then we go to Krka National Park with its beautiful waterfall, and we sleep in Zadar, and then from Zadar we go to Plitvice. Now, Plitvice does ask you to be a little bit walking fit, but if you cannot do that, then that's also okay. We always make a plan, and there'll be a beautiful spot where you can sit and enjoy a cup of coffee and read a book while you're waiting for the group. But it's important to know that in Plitvice, it does ask you, it's a, let's say, about a 4-hour walk, and there's a little bit of a climb and a descent. So you have to be walking fit. You don't need to be able to climb a mountain, but yes, as I said, walking fit. Okay, after Plitvice, we head to what is probably my absolute favorite, which is the Istria Peninsula, and we start in Opatija, where we stay. The Istria Peninsula has a beautiful feel because it's so close to Italy, so it has this little bit of an Italian touch. So we do Opatija, we go to Pula, which is a beautiful amphitheater, and we go to Revenge. We have time to taste wine, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful time that we spend our last bit in Croatia. And then from there, we head into Slovenia, where we go to Ljubljana with its beautiful streets. It's like a fairy tale. And we see Lake Bled, and obviously we also see the Postojna Cave. So yeah, I think I've already spent a lot of time on this one slide with the itinerary, but let's head through. Let's show you some photos. Right, so as I've mentioned, we're going to walk on Dubrovnik City Wall. We're going to do a cruise to the Elafiti Islands. There'll be wine tasting. You can see Krka National Park on here, the Postojna Cave, Pula's Roman Amphitheater. So what's so nice, what I really appreciate about this tour is that it's a bit of a holiday. There's water and there's sun and there's wine tasting, but there's also a really rich history in this area. So I always call it a holiday tour because we all know that sometimes touring can be hard work. There's a lot of history to take in, a lot of facts, a lot of learning and broadening our horizons. But what's so nice about this tour is that it really also gives you a little bit of a holiday feel. Ice cream on the streets and a glass of wine at sunset. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Right, so a little bit of free time just to tell you where you'll have time to explore on your own. As I have mentioned Dubrovnik before, I've mentioned Split, that you can do what you want to there. And then Zadar, which is really cute and quaint, and that's a lovely place to also just go and explore on your own. And obviously all very safe to do. And Ljubljana, as I mentioned, absolute fairy tale, and you would want some time there on your own to just walk around. Okay, so let's talk about some practical things. In terms of a visa, yes, you will need a Schengen visa if you have a South African passport. And that's just one visa that will cover you for both countries. If you have an existing Schengen visa that is still valid, then that's obviously absolutely fine. For most of the tour, it asks for light walking, but please take note that for the Tlatviti National Park, if you want to participate in that day, you need to be more, more fit. So, and then we've just got an exchange rate there for the kuna and the South African rand, just in case you want to make a note of that. Right. And then just if, in terms of budgeting, you want to have a look at what things cost. If you're going to go and eat in an inexpensive restaurant, then it's going to cost you about 260 Rand per person for a meal. If you want to go and have a meal in a mid-range restaurant, it's going to be about 1,300 Rand. But I'm absolutely sure that, and remember now, as we said, that's a 3-course meal. So I'm absolutely sure that you can find something much cheaper and still really, really good to eat. And then, yeah, I'm going to move on. Right. So then people normally ask me what was cost, etc. If you have not received the itinerary yet, then we will send it to you after this webinar, and you will also on the itinerary see the cost explained like it's laid out here. So let me run through that quickly. We quote in dollars and euros because this is also the currency that we have to pay our suppliers in. So we're going to tell you this is the fixed amount in the foreign exchange. And when we invoice you on the day, we will use that day's rate of exchange and everyone pays on the same rate of exchange. If we quoted you on Rand, or in Rand, then at the end of the day, we would have had to say, depending on the exchange rate. So it would have influenced you anyway. It's just that you wouldn't have known that until the very last day of invoicing. So we look at this, you take your land arrangements amount, you times that by the exchange rate, and then you add your airfare. If you needed to go, if you wanted to have a room to yourself, then it would be the land arrangements plus the single supplement, times that by the rate of exchange, and then obviously add the airfare. Okay. And then yeah, the important things that are included is that we use really good transport in an air-conditioned coach. If we say a meal is included on the itinerary, we're going to give you a meal. We use good 4-star hotels. When we have guides included, it will be mentioned, and they are good English-speaking guides. And when we say that we are going to visit a place, the entrance fees are included, and you do not need to pay extra entrance fees. Right, and then obviously these are our contact details. If you want to WhatsApp us, that's the cell phone number that you can use. Alternatively, you can call us and you can send us an email. But I'm going to stop sharing the screen now, and then perhaps some of you have some questions for me. So give me 1 second and we'll get to the question. Right, if anyone has a question, you can just unmute yourself and go for it, or if you prefer to put it in the chat, then that's also fine. No questions? Okay. Well, I am around. If anyone does have one, I'll hang around for a few more minutes and then we'll see what pops up. And please don't be shy, because normally one question leads to another and it opens up a lot of conversation.
Elizabeth? Oh, you can hear me now.
I can. Give me a second. Just want to put my volume down. There we go. Hello.
Okay.
I've got a crowd.
A crowd. Yes. Are they?
Hi.
Okay. I was just wondering. We go via Istanbul. Is that right? On Turkish Airlines.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So Turkish Airlines. So we were thinking before I saw this tour advertised, I was thinking about going to do a tour of Turkey if we had to break the journey on our way back and
absolutely fine.
spend a week under our own steam in Istanbul or wherever, then that would purely be the same airfare. Would that be right? Or because we've made that break between Johannesburg, Dubrovnik, would going Dubrovnik, Istanbul, Istanbul, Johannesburg, would it add to the cost? Is it like a fare break then?
So there might be a change in fare depending on the availability of the airline, you know. So if there's not a lot of seats available, if they don't have a lot of seats available on the day that you want to return from Istanbul to Cape Town or Johannesburg, then there might be a fare increase. So I can't guarantee that it'll be exactly the same airfare. It would depend on what the airline is able to quote us for that day. Unfortunately, I have no control over that.
Right.
But you can break away. It is possible. And we can also help you with the planning of that. We also do individual tour planning. So that's absolutely possible.
Okay, so we can look at that. And then the four-star hotels, are there king-size beds? Because I have quite a large husband, yeah.
No problem. I'm 6'1", so I have no problem. And I'm sure that's not an issue. We can specifically request that it's a king-size bed for you guys.
Okay.
And where that's not possible, we'll give you 2 singles.
Where's that? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
If it's not possible to give you a decent king-size bed, then perhaps we can rather request 2 single beds.
Oh, yes.
So that you don't get moved off the bed, you know.
That would be advisable. Okay.
Anyway, I'm not a large husband, I'm a long husband.
That's all right. As I said, I'm 6'1". It's fine. My husband's constantly complaining that I'm kicking him off, so it's fine.
Are you 6'1"?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. You lucky girl. I wish I was taller.
There we
Okay.
go. Okay.
I don't think I wanted to ask anything. Oh yes, I presume it's that lovely European long evenings in the summer then. Yeah. What time does it get dark thereabouts?
So it's a question that I'm sorry I don't have the exact answer to, but if memory serves me correctly, it's about 8-9 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. Yeah. And it's not really, hopefully not a rainy time.
Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful weather.
Okay. And the sea sailing across to the islands, it's quite still and calm normally.
Yeah, it's the Mediterranean. So that makes it very, the Mediterranean's never as rough as, let's say, the Atlantic or the Indian Ocean.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. So you would all come to Johannesburg, then we would meet you at OR, and then because we're from Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to know?
No, there's nothing I can think of.
Okay. And it's traditional kind of English breakfasts and things like that would be available?
Yeah. So in terms of breakfast, it's not always the normal English breakfast. A lot of the time it's a buffet, and they'll have scrambled eggs and some kind of meat and fruits and yogurt. But there's enough for there's enough for you to have whatever you prefer. If you're someone who likes eggs and bacon, etc., there'll be meat and cheese and maybe scrambled eggs or an omelette. And if you're more into fruits and cereals, you can help yourself to that. So there's always a variety available.
Okay.
Yeah, but probably not the typical, fried eggs, bacon, tomato, mushroom, not the whole shebang on a plate that we're used to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, all right. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to ask. Now I've just got to I just got to convince my benefactor if we can go on it.
Okay, well, I'll have to make a note of the extra long king size beds, and we'll make a plan there.
That's right.
Yeah, I see there's a question about beef. And so, yeah, whatever dietary requirements people have, just let us know whether it's no beef, vegetarian, gluten-free, whatever, and we arrange that with the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Usually a Schengen visa necessitates a visit to the consulate where we spend the longest time.
Yeah.
So as long as, where would we go in this case? Is there
So
Croatian consulate in Johannesburg, I presume?
There's one in Pretoria, and you'd go for Croatia. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And Jeff's British, so he's lucky. I don't suppose he needs anything.
No, he wouldn't need anything. He is lucky.
He's very lucky. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth.
No problem at all. Shout if there's anything else.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Perfect.
Have a good day.
Thank you. And you.
A grey, rainy day in Jeffreys Bay.
No, it's beautiful. We're having a beautiful day.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Is there anyone else who's got a question that I might have missed? Let me see. Okay, Neville, we've answered you. We've answered about we're in Durban for a Schengen visa. So again, that'll be through VFS, who is appointed by the Croatian, consulate to do their visa application for them. So I'm afraid I don't have their address with me right now, but it's something that we can make a note of and to send you the details. So let me just make a note of that quickly. For the Schengen visa Durban info. Okay. Right. I think there was another question. Yeah. Hang on. Alan, I think I've muted you. If you have a question, just unmute yourself. Oh, no. No questions. Okay. All right. Any other questions that I might have missed? Nothing. All right. It looks like I've answered all the questions. Okay. I think, there we go. You're unmuted now. Alan, did you guys have a question?
No, I'm actually with Colleen and Jeff here.
Okay.
Or should I say they with me? No, they're just...
I don't know, as long as you all come on the tour with me.
No, we're just using my laptop to go on to Zoom.
No problem.
But we've been in Croatia, Margaret and I.
Okay.
So, yeah, Dubrovnik, Korčula, Split. And yeah, we've had a lovely time. We would highly recommend Croatia.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me. It's still one of my favorite countries. Yeah, I don't know. And the people are lovely.
People are friendly and professional.
Yeah.
Split and Dubrovnik are perfect for walking around and relaxing.
Korčula for going to all the islands.
Yeah, Korčula, we went as well.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I have a painting from Korčula somewhere in my house. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful country.
Good, good.
Yeah. Right. Let's see if there are any other questions. Sorry, yes, go for it. No questions? Right. I think then what I'm going to do is everyone has our contact details. I will just share that on the screen again, in case anyone wants to make contact with us. And then, yeah, I'll leave that up there so that you can maybe make a note of that. And if anyone has a question, then please feel free to reach out to us and we'd love to help you. And then I've made a note to get back to you guys about Durban and where VFS is. And we'll also send the itinerary out. I know there was a question about that. And the costing will also be explained in the cover letter. If there are no other questions, then I'm going to stop sharing again. and say goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.